I'd like to introduce a friend of mine. I've known Tom for many, many years, and his credentials are about this long, and I'm going to let him talk a bit about himself. He can tell us what's going on. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Tom Wilson, the Executive Director of the Farmers Insurance at San Diego. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I think of all the times that I've spoken at groups, and it's been hundreds of times, that's the first time I've actually had to introduce myself. So, just to give you just a brief review of what I've done over the years. I grew up in Nebraska. I was an Eagle Scout. I started working in Arizona for a title insurance company. Shortly thereafter, I got in the golf business at a private country club. Shortly thereafter, I was hired by Jim Kalachis, JC Resorts, and I came over to basically run his golf program at the Rancho Bernardo Inn, and in that time frame I was there for 10.5 years. We grew from the 1 golf course to 6 golf courses and grew their bottom line in the golf operations from a couple $100,000 to a couple million. And then almost 20 years ago now, there was an opportunity with the Centric Club, and the Centric Club is the non-for-profit organization that basically puts on the Farmers Insurance Open PGA Tour Golf Tournament at Torrey Pines every year. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that today. But first of all, to tell you a little bit about Joe, I know he's been a successful sports apparel businessman for many, many years, and you know, for every successful man stands behind him a very surprised mother-in-law. Let me tell you a little bit about what we do. The Centric Club, as I said, is a group of basically, I guess the best way to describe them is a group of charity-minded, civic-minded golf enthusiasts. We're made up of about 75 active members who are truly the leaders in the San Diego community, and they are the ones that serve on committees, and they're the ones that are basically mostly the marketing arm for the tournament. They go out and sell all the products that we have. We have pro-am playing spots, we have advertising, we have hospitality venues, we have a myriad of things that they can go out and sell to their friends, clients, customers, and that's how we generate money to basically put on the event each year. They are made up of a board of 15 members. They have, out of that 75, they have 15 members that belong to the board of directors, and they have an officers rotation where the officers kind of rotate up to be president, and each one of those rotations they serve as a chairman of one of our key committees, and that way they get to learn basically all the essentials that they need to know by the time they become president, so they can be very productive during the time that they're president. And I'm the paid staff basically that each year gets to have a new president with new ideas and new energy, and so that's the challenge in itself. But I've been doing it for 19 years, and I'm going to do one more year, and that was my long range goal, to do it for 20 years, and that's one more thing that I'm going to do. But in order to put on a PGA Tour event, you have to have 3 elements. Number one, you have to have a golf course to put it on that's really worthy of a championship, essentially. And we're very fortunate that we've made our partner 44 years ago. It's the city of San Diego, and we started running the tournament there at Torrey Pines. Prior to that, we were all over the place, mostly at what used to be called Mission Valley Country Club, which then became Stardust, which is now a Riverwalk. We've gone out to the Rancho Bernardo Inn, we've been at Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club, we've been to Singing Hills, so it kind of moved around quite a bit in the early years, but after that, like I said, it's been 60, this will be their 60th anniversary. Actually, this next year will be the 60th anniversary of the PGA Tour tournament here in San Diego, 50th anniversary for the Centric Club running the tournament, and it'll be actually the 45th anniversary at Torrey Pines. So we've got a lot of stellar dates coming up in 2012. We're looking forward to that and celebrating all those. Number one, you need a golf course, a golf facility, and Torrey Pines certainly merits that championship, as was evidenced in 2008 when we were also able to host the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines too as well. Second thing is the Century Club. You need an organization to basically manage and organize the tournament. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what it takes to manage and organize basically it's a major sporting event here in San Diego. And the third element is you need a title sponsor. You need somebody that's going to basically put up the majority of the money basically to put up advertising on television, to help promote the tournament, to help subsidize a lot of the things that we do for the tournament. And in our case, for many years, we've gone through a transition. We started off years and years ago with the Chevy dealers back in 1952 when we had the first PGA Tour event here. A bunch of the Chevy dealers got together and sponsored the tournament. Then we've gone through like Wicks Furniture. We went through Isuzu. We went through Shearson Lehman. In fact, one year we had the longest tournament name on tour. It was called the Shearson Lehman Brothers Andy Williams San Diego Open. And that logo was about this big on your shirt. But anyway, now we transitioned into the Buick Motor Division, which was our sponsor for 18 straight years. We were very fortunate to have a great sponsor there. Unfortunately, General Motors went bankrupt, and they were not able to continue. And so almost a little over a year ago, I'm sitting in my office at 6:30 in the morning, and I get a call from the PGA Tour saying, "You have a new sponsor." Of course, 6 months prior to that, we found out that we weren't going to have a sponsor in Buick, and so we spent a lot of time trying to find and nurture a new sponsorship. Weren't able to do it. We went to 14 or 15 different companies and corporations around the country, and we got to the altar about 3 or 4 times, but we couldn't get any I-do's, But the week before the tournament on a Monday, I get a call from the PGA Tour saying, "You've got a new sponsor." And I'm going, "Oh, is it this group, this group, this group, or this group?" Which are the ones that we got close to. And they said, "No, it's the Farmers Insurance Group." And I'm going, "We didn't even talk to them." And so it was a complete surprise. It came actually out of a cocktail discussion between the PGA Tour's head of marketing department and one of his former employees who's now working for Zurich and putting on the Zurich Classic, which is a PGA Tour event in New Orleans. And Zurich is the parent company for Farmers, and Farmers was kind of involved with them at New Orleans. And so one thing led to another, and 2 days later they had a contract drafted, and 2 days later I'm on the phone with the tour saying, "You've got a new sponsor." So it worked out pretty well, although we did a lot of scrambling that week because we thought, we found out essentially that it was going to be a 1-year deal with 4 years option, and so we decided we want to do as much as we can for them this first year, and so we flipped out every sign on the golf course that had San Diego Open on it because we had resolved ourselves we weren't going to have sponsors. We would just call it the San Diego Open, and we flipped out every sign, and you think, okay, how many signs is that? Well, just guess. Anybody want to guess how many signs that is? Because there's the signs.
1,200.
That's very good. It's about 1,500 signs that we had to flip out, basically, from little dinky ones that are on some signposts up to huge ones that were above the scoreboard and things like that. So, but we did it. We had a great relationship with our sign maker, and we pumped them out. We had, I guess, fortunately and unfortunately, we had a lot of rain that week, and so that brought all of our operations crew off of the golf course when they'd be normally out on the golf course, putting things up into the operations center, and they were just working off one sign after the other. So anyway, those are the 3 elements: the golf course, host organization, which is Century Club, and a title sponsor. Now, just to give you an idea of all the things that we do, are, I guess, the Century Club, as I said, are made up of about 75 members. They serve on committees, but we also have a staff, paid staff. Myself, as